Shalom Aleichem. Baruch Hashem, we have this opportunity to do this special edition as we prepare for Pesach. We prepare for the night, the Leil Seder. I want to say a special thank you to Eliyahu Fatachov, someone who has already reached out to me a while ago, saying I really need the Seder, a Seder shir. So it's all in his merit, as everyone knows. Everyone is so busy, so to be able to sit down and do this is all in his zechut. So let's start with Leil HaSeder. It's called Leil HaSeder. Seder, the word Seder means order. So the first question you have to ask yourself, why is it called the night of order? Perhaps it should be called the night of Pesach, or Leil Shimurim, the night of watching, the night that we're always protected, the night that Hashem saves us. Why specifically Leil HaSeder, the night of order? Think about 1 second. Okay, it's called Leil HaOrder, Leil HaSeder, because there's a Seder, there's a Kadesh, Urchatz, Karpas, Yachatz, but the whole Seder itself doesn't make any sense. Kadesh means to be sanctified. Urchatz means to wash. Usually you wash, you go into the mikvah, and you come out tahor, you go into the ritual bath, and you come out pure. What is this? It should be urchatz, and then Kadesh. So already we see the first two seem to be out of order. The whole night, pick up your Kiddush cup, put down, cover the matzahs, uncover the matzahs, refill the cup, take off the cup. It doesn't really look like something that's very much in order. In other words, it looks more chaotic than in order. So what is it, the Leil HaSeder? I think that we can say that this is exactly it. That there is order in this world, even though all the chaos seems to be coming down and ensuing and enveloping us, and we're so busy with so many different things. But in the end of the day, all that is order, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in charge. You know, in Mitzrayim, the Jews were slaves. Is that the actual way the world is supposed to be? But that's the way people thought it was. The Jews are supposed to be down. They're supposed to be slaves. But the real Seder, the real order of things, is the Jews to get freed. So even though it looked like a supernatural occurrence, a miracle of miracles, but that is Seder. That is the proper order. That's the order things are supposed to be in. And a lot of times in life, we feel like we're down and things are going completely in the opposite direction. But in the end, it's all actually orderly the whole time. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in charge, and He's leading us to a Geulah. He's leading us to a redemption. I saw a beautiful story. There are many stories that touch upon this concept, but tonight I saw a beautiful story that I would love to share with you. There was once a bachur, an older boy, who couldn't find the shidduch. As much as he tried, and as many girls he went on dates with, he couldn't find the right one, and it never worked out. This young man, he had every Friday afternoon, he visited his elderly grandmother in a nursing home, and he would sit with her for a couple of hours, talk to her. Now, his grandmother had dementia, and sometimes she had trouble remembering who he was, and she had trouble remembering other things, but it was his grandmother, and he made it his mitzvah that every Friday afternoon he went to visit her. And one Friday afternoon, as he's sitting there with her, she says, "Where's my teeth?" She wears dentures. So she says, "Where's my teeth?" He says, "I don't know. I don't know where it is." She says, "What did you do with my teeth?" And he says, "Grandma, I really don't know. I can help you look for it." She says, "No, you took it. You stole it." And she starts to scream. He says, I didn't. And she takes her hand and she smacks him across the face really hard and says, "You did it." And here he was, crushed and humiliated, thinking in his mind, Zut Torah, Vezus chara, is this my Torah? Is this my mitzvah? And this is the reward I get? I come here to do honoring the grandparents, and I'm getting smacked in the face for this. No, he held himself, and he was crying on the inside. And then he got up and he began to search the room, and he found his grandmother's dentures. He gave it to her, and he thought that was the end of it. But right next door, separated by a curtain, was another grandmother and a granddaughter sitting there. And this grandmother and this granddaughter saw what happened behind the curtain. And they were in spell, they were amazed. How could this young man take the abuse and not even say anything, not even say, very calm the whole time. And they thought to themselves, who is this young man? Maybe it's someone that she would want to go out with. And so the granddaughter told her mother, and the mother made some inquiries, and they called the mishpacha, and they found out who they were. And the mother asked the family, can my daughter go out with your boy? We saw he has such good midot. We would like for them to go out. And they went out, and Baruch Hashem, they got married. You see, sometimes you think things are really going not my way, and there's chaos. And we say, no, it's Leil HaSeder. It's Seder, right? There was once a Hasidic Rebbe who went to Eretz Yisrael, and he heard everyone saying, Hakol Beseder. You say, Manishma, and they say, Hakol Beseder. And it was the Imre Chaim of Vishnitz. And when he heard this, he said, wow, there's people in Eretz Yisrael know so much. They know so much mystical things, because it's true. There's so much involved in Leil HaSeder. In the Seder, in the Haggadah that we read about the Arba Banim. Keneged Arba Banim Dibra Torah. And it says, Echad Chacham, Ve'echad Rasha, Ve'echad Tam, Ve'echad She'eni Yodea L'Sh'ol. It's interesting. It talks about the four sons, the wise one, the wicked, the simple one, and the one who doesn't know how to ask. And each time it says the word, Echad. This bring a story that there was the famous Rebbe, the Bnei Yissaschar. He once went out to see how the people in his community were making this Seder. And he saw one guy, when he got up to Keneged Arba Banim, he said, Echad Chacham, Echad Rasha. And he kept stretching out the word Echad, as if he was reading the Shema. If you read the Shema, at the end you want to stretch out the Het and the Dalit. And every single one, this guy did it. So Bnei Yissaschar was very amazed. Well, what's going on? Why is he doing it? So they went in and they asked this man, and he said, listen, my father taught me, when you say Shema, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. And that's what I do. So every time I say the word Echad, I say Echad, Echad. And the Bnei Yissaschar said, this is an amazing concept. Because, what does it mean, Echad? Echad means that there's one Hashem. He's the one in control of everything. And when you think about it, every child is a unique gift from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Whether it be the Chacham. And interestingly, the Haggadah says, Ve'echad, and. That means it's the Chacham and the wicked, and the simple, and the one who doesn't know what to ask. All of them come from HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself. There's a story I said once that there was a man who called the Mohel and told the Mohel he has a big mazel tov. He has a baby boy. And he sounded so excited on the phone. So the Mohel asked him, how many years have you been waiting for this baby boy? You sound so excited. And the man said, I waited for this boy 20 years. And the Mohel said, whoa, this is going to be a huge party. The guy didn't have a baby for 20 years, and now he has a baby boy. And they're making a brit. It's going to be huge. He says, of course I'm going to come. I'll do it. And he prepared himself, and he learned the right halachot, and he learned the right Kabbalah, and he went to the mikvah, and he did everything he needed to do. And he shows up to the brit, and it's a small brit. Not so many people. The shul's empty. Just small family members, some shul members. There's not a lot of catering going on, not a lot of food. Very simple, low key. So he makes the brit and everything. And then at the end, he sees that an 18-year-old boy looking walks over to the father of the baby and says, Tati, I want to take the young girls home and I'll watch them. And the Mullah sees this and says, 1 second, that's your son, this 18-year-old? And the father says, yes, that's my son. He says, but hold on, Mullah says, hold on. When you told me on the phone, I asked you how long you waited for this baby. You said 20 years. The father said, yes, that's true. I waited for this baby 20 years. Every single baby is a special. Every single baby is beautiful. It's a blessing. And so this man, so excited, he already had like 10 other kids. But Baruch Hashem, his 11th was also a great excitement. It was also an amazing idea. It was also an amazing blessing. And so he was so excited when he said it. And that's what we're saying. And it doesn't make a difference. It's Chacham Rasha Tam She'en De'Yusho. It's our obligation. Hashem gave us a unique baby, specially fitted for us to take care of. What's more interesting, now right before we start, the Keneged Arba Banim, about the 4 sons, we read, Baruch HaMakom Baruch Hu, Baruch Shenatan Torah Le'amo Yisrael Baruch Hu. Blessed is the omnipresent, blessed is He, blessed is the one who gave His people the Torah, blessed is He. So now I ask you, is tonight, tomorrow night, whenever you're listening to this, is the Leil HaSeder Shavuot? Is it the night that we get the Torah? That we say, Baruch Shenatan Torah Le'amo Yisrael. What are we saying? So, to understand this, we're going to tell you a little story that happened. Rabbi Cheskel Levenstein, he says years ago, one of Rabbi Levenstein's students told him that he went to the bank and he opened an account and they gave him a toaster as a gift. And he showed his Rebbe the toaster. This is how you put the bread in. This is how you do it. This is how you get it. Wow, it's so good. And then the rabbi noticed, Rabbi Levenstein noticed inside the box was a pamphlet. So he said, what's this pamphlet? What's these papers? So the Talmud said, oh, this is the user manual. This is the guide of how to use it. And when Rabbi Levenstein saw this, he began dancing. Rabbi Talmud said, what are you dancing for? He says, look, you have a toaster. What would you do for the toaster is push one button. You push it down. The bread goes in, it's finished, it comes out. And there's a whole manual, a whole paper document of how to use it. And he says, don't you understand that Hashem created the world? He gave us a document. He gave us the user guide. He gave us the manual of how to live life. You see, we're about to say, Keneged Arba Banim. But how are you supposed to raise your children? So the Baal HaGadah says, Baruch Shenatan Torah Le'amo Yisrael. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us the Torah. It's the manual, it's the book, it's the guide of how to raise children. This is what we're saying, Baruch Shenatan Torah Le'amo Yisrael. That Baruch Hashem, we have the guide, the manual, the book to raise the Chacham, the Rasha, the Tam, V'she'en Yodei L'shol. We can raise them all. Why? Because we have the book. Baruch Hashem HaShabbat, I gave a Shabbat Hagadol Drasha here in our shul, and I explained and I expounded on this, but I want to just give one idea of that. In the Torah, there is no parsha called Chinuch Banim, how to raise children. But there was one time in the Torah that we see something very special. Hashem says, I want to destroy Sodom. But before I do that, the Medrash Tanhuma says, Hashem said, I have to tell my beloved. I have to tell Avraham Avinu. Right? The Pasuk says, Hashem says, I can't keep it a secret from Avraham. And the Medrash Tanhuma says, because Avraham is his beloved. And now if I ask you, take an idea, take a guess. Why would Avraham be beloved to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? He does a lot of chesed. His tent has four doors. Someone told me now he has an escape hatchet from the top. People can come in and out. So Avraham Avinu is a Baal Chesed. He spread Torah. That's not it. The Torah there says, you know why Hashem loves him? Because he teaches his children how to learn after him. He commands. He's a parent. Avraham Avinu is not a laissez-faire parent, just lets his kids do whatever he wants. He's a parent. But it says there, Aharav, after him. And our Chamim explain, what does that mean? Avraham Avinu didn't tell Yitzchak, do this, do that. Go to shul, learn Torah. He didn't say that. Avraham Avinu did it, and Yitzchak copied it. Yitzchak learned from his father. He saw what his father was doing, and he did it too. This is one idea of the Torah telling us how to teach our children. Whether it be a Hakam, whether it be a Rasha, whether it be a Tam. We have to remember that our children are like the KGB. They are everywhere. They're watching. They know what you're doing. And when you do something that's inconsistent or hypocritical, they will call you out on it. And so the Torah is telling us, you want to raise our children, you have to use the Torah to do that. Not the parenting books that have Rashi Tevot, Safei Tevot, that have all sorts of letters after the doctors and the parents and the psychiatrists and psychiatrists' names. No. We have to use the Torah. And the Torah says Avraham Avinu was the parent excellence. He was the educated, the best. And how did he do it? By role modeling it. One quick story about this. There was a man in Russia. His name was Mr. Dennis. He was a big Baal Tzedakah. He used to give a lot of money to charities. Rabbi Chanan Wasserman used to come and visit him and collect money from Mr. Dennis. And Mr. Dennis, after the communists took over, all his money was confiscated. And he used to say, it's okay, my money is gone, because I still have two important diamonds. What were his diamonds? His two daughters. Why were they diamonds? Because they married two Rashi Yeshivot. How did that happen, Rabbi Chanan say? How does a wealthy rich man have two of his daughters marry Rashi Yeshivot from Telz, from the Bloch family? How? So Rabbi Chanan says, I'll tell you because I knew. I know because I experienced it. Rabbi Chanan says that one time he was in Russia and he was collecting money. And it was a wintry, stormy, rainy, snowy night. And Rabbi Chanan's boots were full of mud. And he remembered that Mr. Dennis's house was a beautiful white carpet in the front. And Rabbi Wasserman said, how can I go through the front entrance? I'll ruin all his carpets. It's not kavod. It's not derech eretz. So how can I go to him? Oh, he has in the back of the house an entrance for the workers, for the help. I'll go in through there. And so that's what he does. He goes, he knocks on the door, and one of Mr. Dennis's daughters open the door. And they come and they say, Tati, Daddy, Rabbi Wasserman is here. So Mr. Dennis comes down and he sees Rabbi Wasserman at the back door. He sees Rabbi Wasserman and he says to Rabbi Wasserman, what did I do to you that you hate me so much? That you would destroy everything I'm working for? Rabbi Wasserman was shocked. He said, what? What do you mean? And he says, Rabbi, why? What did I do? What did I do to you that you don't like me? Rabbi Wasserman says, I really don't know what you're talking about. What happened? And Mr. Dennis says, Rabbi, all my life I've taught my daughters that Torah is number one. It's paramount. There's nothing better than Torah. There's nothing important as Torah. And you are the Rosh Yeshiva of Barnovich. You are an Adam Gadol. You're a Chanel Wasserman. You embody Torah. And you come in through the help, through the entrance in the back, through where the maids come in through. What derech eretz is that? So Rasmus says, but my feet are dirty. So you're teaching my daughters that my white carpet in the front is more important than Torah. How? Why would you do this to me? So Rasmus says, I'm very sorry. What can I do to make it up? So the man said, you want to make it up? Only one thing you can do. Go back around through the front and walk all over my carpet. And so it was. So Wasserman came in through the front. He walked all over the carpet. And then Mr. Dennis had him sit on one couch and another couch and another couch until he made everything dirty. And Rabbi Chanan Wasserman said, this is how Mr. Dennis was zocheh, that his two daughters married Rosh Yeshiva. When they saw that their father really, really valued Torah, that went down to the children. I already made a bracha. All right. For our last and final Var Torah about this Leil HaSeder. This one comes from the Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Yisrael Belsky. He shared that there was a Hasid once was traveling to be with his Rebbe for the Seder, and along the way something happened. The wagon broke down, and the Hasid was stuck in a small village in Russia for Pesach. And the Chassid had no chance to make it to his Rebbe, so he ended up spending the night of the Seder, Leil HaSeder, as a guest of a simple Jew. And the simple Jew began the Haggadah. And when he got up to Tam Mahu Omer, the simple song, what does he say? The man stopped and started to cry. And then he said it again, Tam Mahu Omer. And he began to cry. And he said it again and a few times over and over again. And he cried and he cried and he cried. And then he finally just continued with the Haggadah. When this Chassid finally made it to his Rebbe, the Rebbe said, "No, what happened? Where were you?" He said, "I got stuck." He says, "What did you learn in that city?" He says, "Nothing." He says, "Something must have happened in the Leil HaSeder. You must have been there for a reason to learn something." The man says, "Nothing." The Rebbe says, "Please think." He says, "It was one weird thing. This guy kept saying, Tam Mahu Omer," and he started to cry. I don't know what to make of that. That was the only one thing that stood out. And the Rebbe told him, "Wow, do you know what you saw there? You know what the word Tam in Russian means over there, there. You know, it's not only in Russian that Tam means there. We have in the Gemara, we say Hatam, right, which means over there. But in the Talmud Yerushalmi, they take away the hey, and they just say Tam. And so it also means there. And the Rebbe explained, what does this mean? This guy was saying, Tam Mahu Omer. Tam, in Shemaim, over there. What are they saying about the mitzvot that we're doing tonight? Are we really doing it right? Are we doing it the right way? Are we zochet to be doing and being mekayim the mitzvot the correct way? Or we're just putting on a show? Or we're really not into it? Tam Mahu Omer. What are they saying about our Seder? And Rabelsky added on, there was once on Yom Kippur, after a long davening, the Mir Mashgiach, Harav Yerucham Levovitz, went to the corner, buried his head in his hands, and he was weeping. And he was saying something over and over. No one can hear what it was. Finally, one of the students went to listen, and he heard the Rabbi Yerucham was saying, Ulai yemusheni avi v'haiti ve'enav kimtatea. He was saying what Yaakov Avinu said to Rivka, maybe Yitzchak will see me and he'll see that I am an imposter. Yerucham was davening to Hashem and saying, crying, he said, when Hashem, did I really serve Hashem correctly, or I was just faking it on Yom Kippur? And this is Rav Yerucham Levovitz, the Mashgiach of the Mir Yeshiva. What can we say for ourselves? Are we really into it? Are we doing it correctly? Are we doing it l'shem mitzvah? Maybe be zocheh to do that. And so, to briefly review our first lesson, chaos is Seder, because you know why? Kadosh Baruch Hu is in charge. Echad, every child is special, blessing, and important. The Torah tells us how to raise children and to think about the service that we do. What do they think about what we're doing in Shamayim? Is it really the proper mitzvah? Are we really doing it the right way? Maybe we zochet to do it the right way. Maybe we zochet to gula shlema. Maybe we zochet to eat korban Pesach. Be'ezat Hashem. Be'ezat Hashem. We should see only good. Wishing one and all a chag kosher v'sameach.